Have a listen to this and tell me what's wrong with it. Now compare that to this. Did you notice the difference? No? Well, I'm going to play you the individual loops from the first loop and the second loop. Now do you notice the difference? The difference is audio bleed. If you pay attention to the bass and the vocal harmonies, in the first instance, there was loads of bleed. You could still hear the track from when I recorded the drums. In the second version, the audio bleed was pretty much gone. That's because I had headphones, I wasn't using the speaker, and I was using this. A lot of my performances, certainly when I'm doing things like live streaming, I use that speaker over there in the corner, which is the Mackie Reach. And the great thing is I can hear it really well. I don't need to turn it up very loud. But the problem is that when I start using it, you get that bleed from that speaker going straight back into that microphone. And I'm doing that very carefully to make sure I can do it. And that's the microphone I use for both singing and looping. And the alternative if you're on stage is to use monitors, and that's a looper's worst nightmare. Because in a loud environment, that introduces even more noise, even more bleed. So you want to be behind the speaker so it doesn't go into the microphones, but then you're not hearing what you're producing properly. In come in-ear monitors, and these guys from XVive have actually come out with this, the U4. A lot of wireless systems need a big body pack and they need a huge receiver. This is the size of the body pack, and this is the receiver. They're really small and they're made of a metal construction, really sturdy and really well put together. Now they have sent me this for review, but they're not seeing this video beforehand. This is my own review of them, but I wanted to actually check them out for myself. As I say, this is absolutely tiny in comparison. So that was what you wear on your body pack. And then this is the transmitter. Now this one is actually XLR, but it comes with an adapter, which you can just put into here and just plug that in, and then it becomes a 1/4-inch adapter. Now just very quickly, I wanted to show you in the box. I've already got them out, of course, because we've been playing with them. And you get the receiver and the transmitter, and then I've already shown you the adapter. The other thing you get as well, if we just take all this off, there's some stuff underneath. You have to charge these, and you charge it by micro USB, but they supply you with the USB to dual micro USB cable, and there's also a nice little bag to put it in to keep it all nice and tidy. Now, if you've got anything like a mixer, or you've got a multi-output processor like an RC600, for example, it has sub-outs. And what you can do is you can plug that into the left, which is mono, sub-out 1 or 2, and as long as you haven't changed the settings on it, it's going to send the exact same signal out that's going out to the PA from the main out. Then you use this to control the volume that's coming into your ears, and then you would plug a pair of earphones in, whatever they are, whether they're in-ear monitor ones or normal headphones, because it's as long as it's a mini jack TRRS going into here, you're going to be able to hear it. As you can see from here, I'm holding this up slightly so you can see the box. You've got more than 90 feet of range, and it's less than 5 milliseconds latency, which is fantastic. Certainly for looping, you need to be on it. You need to be on the controller straight away, so that's really important. Now, it does say 5 hours of battery life. I've been able to get a little bit longer than that, if I'm honest. I think that's being really conservative if you're turning it up to like full volume. If you turn it down, you're going to get even more. On the transmitter itself, it has an on-off switch, and then what it also has, if I spin it round, is it has an aux, and it also has a line. So you can use it with mixers or anything professional that sends a line level. And aux is going to give you probably a stronger send, so if you're using things like MP3 players or plugging it into your computer. Now by default, of course, this has got a big button here to take this off, and this is XLR, but then they supply you with that, which is fantastic. On the receiver, which is full metal, the top here is the on-off switch, so we can turn that on. You can see there it goes on, and it's got 6 channels. We can just change the channel here by pressing the button, and as you press it, you can see it's changing pretty much instantly. And then if I turn this one on, I'm just going to go to the top-down camera. So if I turn this one on now, do you see how quick that connected? So if I change that over to channel 2, we'll change that one over to channel 2. You notice the green light on here. So if I then change this over to channel 3, it's lost that signal. So if I go over to channel 3, it's there straight away. That green light means these two are connected. It's so incredibly quick. Let's go over to channel 5. There we go, it's just reconnected and it's found it again. Now moving over to the actual receiver, you've got your 6 channels, but this is your headphone control. And the great thing is it's completely separate to the on-off switch. You don't want to go all the way down and it goes click and goes off, which some do. This is completely separate, so it is a minimum amount, and there's a little arrow there to show you where you are, so you can go obviously all the way up to 11. It's belt clipped on by default. The belt clip's built into it, and it's actually metal construction as well, so no plastic here. It's really nice and sturdy, and it'll give you 107 dB of dynamic range. Now the resolution on this is 24-bit at 48 kilohertz, and the spectrum is from 20 hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz. So it's not the widest spectrum, it's not going up to 22 or 24 kilohertz, but it's enough, certainly, if you're on stage. Now, if you're using these on stage and you're creating songs, maybe you want to get those songs out there in the world onto places like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, Deezer, Pandora, and so many more. So that's where today's sponsor comes in, which is DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company. You can't just rock up to Spotify or Apple Music and say, hey, put my music on. You need a music distributor in the middle to distribute it out. Now, the great thing with DistroKid is they don't just put it out to all the online streaming sites. They also push it out to social media, places like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and even TikTok. And then that way you and other people can use your music in their reels and stories. And guess what? You get paid. Now, most music distributors charge you per release. They charge you for everything you release, every single, every EP, every live album, acoustic album, every LP, whatever you're going to be releasing, they charge you every single time. DistroKid don't do this. They charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. But with the link that's on the screen now, it's also that QR code. You can save 7% of your first annual membership with them. Now, I say starts at $22.99 because they have a couple of different tiers. So you've got the Musicians one, which is $22.99. You've got Musicians Plus, which is $39.99, and you've even got a label tier. I'm actually on the Musicians Plus one, which is $39.99. It gives me 2 different acts, or 2 artists. So there's me as John Paul, and I'm also part of Tokyo Wasteland. But you can also schedule the date of the release, you can schedule the pre-order date, and there's a couple of extra things in there as well. But even from the basic tier, the actual Musicians tier, the $22.99 one, you get access to loads of different things to help you promote yourself and to help you get heard. So click the link or scan the QR code and start uploading your music today and get 7% off. Thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Now let's talk about the different packages this comes in. One nice trick the transmitter's got up its sleeve is it can actually send out to 4 different units. So if you've got 4 receivers, you can actually get this sending out to 4 different ones, and that's really cool if you're in a band. You don't need 4 separate transmitters. So XVive actually sell this in a couple of different ways. You actually got the one that I've got here, which of course is the U4. It's got 1 of each in the pack. You can buy them separately as well, so you can actually just buy the transmitter and the receiver. You can also buy the U4 T9, which is these 2, but also their T9 in-ear professional headphones. The other packages of the U4 is the U4 R2, so you've got 1 transmitter and 2 receivers, or you've got the 4-pack, which is 1 transmitter and 4 receivers. Now, I've left links in the description box below if you want to pick some of these up. They are affiliated links, which help out the channel, but at no extra cost to you. But even if you're not live gigging, if you're live streaming, then instead of using a big PA or a big amp, using something like this is going to be a godsend, because there's no other noise going on in a live stream other than what you're generating. I want to thank XVive for sending these out to me. As I say, check the link in the description box if you want to go and pick some of these up. If you want to get into live streaming and you want the simplest way for musicians, then check out this video, because it's going to save you a bundle of time.